Imagine that you are walking down an old town, enjoying the quaint atmosphere, enjoying the nice breeze, admiring the architecture, when all of a sudden from the corner of your eye you notice that there's an elegantly dressed man coming towards you. He's walking hastily towards you, and when you're close enough to notice his custom cut suit, and you can see the shine in his shoes, he makes eye contact with you and smiles and says, "Excuse me, could you please tell me the time?" Without missing a beat, you look at your watch. Yeah, it's 11:33. Oh, thank you so much. You're a lifesaver. Oh, that's a very nice watch that you have there. You have a very nice sense of style. Oh, well, thank you very much. Well, I'm glad you saved my life because I have a series of meetings coming up and I can't be late to any of them. They're super important for my business, and unfortunately, I don't have a watch and my phone is out of batteries. Would you have the confidence in me to allow me to use your watch just for the next few hours? What if I give you $100? Here's a $100 bill. I promise I'll meet you in the corner in 3 hours, and I'll give you back the watch, and you can keep the $100 if you want. Now let me ask you, would you think that giving that man your watch would be a mistake?
How much is the watch?
Very good question. The very first mistake here was to stop and give him the time of day. Why? Because this man doesn't have interviews. This man has a watch. And you, by stopping there and giving him the time of day, you have become his next victim. You're his next target. You're his mark. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow podcasters, my name is Juan Sepulveda. I'm the founder of the Gentleman's Brotherhood. And in my studies about charisma and confidence and trust, I came across some parallels that those things have with the con artist. Like Matt mentioned, we are familiar with the con artist, but that con, where does it come from? It's from confidence. The first time that it was ever coined in print, it was because of a man who was walking the streets of New York, and he was doing exactly what I just illustrated. He would engage people and gain their confidence by complimenting them, by presenting himself as a trustworthy individual. But then he would take that trust, betray it, and keep people's watches. And if it was a cheap watch, he wouldn't have stopped them in the first place. You see, there are three things I want to share with you today that we have access to, that the con artists have known forever. But if we utilize those same tools for our advantage and for the advantage of our listeners, we'd be better podcasters and better communicators. And the first one is that you need to know your mark. You see, in the con artist lingo, the mark is that person that the con artist is targeting. They spend a lot of time analyzing what are the things that motivate this person. Does it look like he has something I can take? Does it look like he has enough money that I can swindle? They pay attention to every move, their vulnerabilities, their motivations. But before they make that first move to engage and connect, they know who that mark is. For us as podcasters, as communicators, as bloggers, one of the things that we need to do is understand who our audience is. Who is our mark? When we listen carefully to the people that we have contact to, then we begin to understand what are their motivations. What is it that they need from you? As opposed to the con artist where he's trying to find out what you have that he can take. Here you're trying to understand what is it that you have that you can contribute to the life of your listener. The con artist deals in a currency that we are familiar with. With every word that we utter and we have someone listening on the other side, we are increasing the trust that they have on us. So if we utilize that correctly, we understand what's building that trust and what's the expectation from our audience, then we can deliver on something that won't jeopardize that trust that we've already built. The second component that I came across is the con artist knows his game. As podcasters, we need to know our strategy. What's our vision? What's our goal? What do we want to accomplish with our program? You see, on that very first moment where the man asked for the watch, one thing that he might have done is meet the person 3 hours later and give him back the watch. Because it's a long game or a long con. It's a long process. And it's just one step more in building confidence. Maybe that person noticed that the car they came in driving in was the latest model. It was a very expensive car. And they gained their trust by meeting the expectation. I meet you, I give you the watch back. Now they have more confidence and they open a door to bigger and better opportunities. By the same token, when we understand what our vision is for our programs, when we understand what we want to accomplish with our audience, what we want them to get at the end, then every contribution we put into them, building trust, is just leading to that ultimate payout. Is a big win at the end of the entire process. How do you find out what your long game needs to be? You have to tap your audience. Creating in a vacuum without any kind of feedback from the people that are really spending their time and listening to you, it's only going to create a show that you like and maybe your friend likes. But when you listen to that listener, when you reciprocate the attention, then you have a better idea of what your long strategy needs to be. Is this going to lead to mentorships? Is it going to lead to coaching? Does my audience need programs? Do they need courses? What is it that they're looking for? What would really make a difference in their life? Instead of just creating something because I think it's cool, knowing my audience and knowing what the end vision is will create a much enriching experience at the end of the process. Now, we've heard a little bit of this from the other speakers today, and it's the third element in this analogy, and it is knowing yourself. You have to absolutely know yourself. Just like you would spend time trying to get to know your audience, knowing where your strengths and weaknesses are is paramount. Now, the con artist, he knows himself. He is confident, but he's not dumb. He knows how far his confidence can take him. And there are programs or there are cons that they work in that require more than one person. Here's when they recognize that they are lacking in some area and they absolutely need an accomplice. How does that relate to you here today? Just take a second and look around at the people that are here. When you're out in the hallways, try to find out what are the components that these people have that you are missing on your own show. There's only a certain amount of distance that you will be able to travel if you just rely on your specific attributes. And by knowing yourself, you get to understand, I'm not very good at being at the helm of the company. I need a CEO. Because obviously that's what we're here to grow our podcast to that level where we all need a CEO. No, but every step of the way, you get to realize there are things that you really don't like doing. There are things that as much as you try, you're not doing them as best as other people are. And getting to recognize that, now you need to utilize that confidence that you have in yourself and be humble and understand, I need your help. What you do there is great. I could use someone like you in my team. And now you have allies to accomplish your long-term goals in your podcast. What I want to leave you with today is to recognize the comparison that I've drawn here between the con artist and the confident artist, which is you. You are the creator of a piece of content that is meant to do something for someone. It's created to make a difference in someone else's lives. What you have to say really will make a difference on that other individual. Now remember this story that I told you today. As you continue to create episodes and build that trust with your audience, now you have the responsibility to deliver upon that trust that you've created with your audience. Understand who they are. Understand what your goal for your podcast is. Find allies that can help you materialize that vision. And then at the end, you'll have an even better outcome than anybody could imagine. So go forward and keep on recording and make sure that you are a confident artist. Thank you.